I cannot believe I am living this nightmare. I, 33 female, found out my husband, 40 male, was having a 3-month-long affair. I found out the night of the 40th birthday I threw for him 13 days ago. The affair partner is 40 female with kids. My husband and I have 1 child. We've been together for 14 years and married for almost 10. It sounds crazy, but he's the last person you'd ever expect to do this. I was the only clueless idiot who thought my marriage was great. I genuinely thought we had that kind of bond that other people envied. I am not a perfect person by any means, but I am a damn good wife. I make a great living, cook meals 5 nights per week, and encourage him to spend time alone and with just friends or doing hobbies he enjoys. We had a good sex life, we had a funny banter and wit. I was just coasting through life, and the rug was pulled out from underneath me with no warning or consent. I feel like I'm swimming in a tank with no ladder or life ring, and I'm treading water in an endless nightmare. I found hundreds of emails where they told each other that they married the wrong person, that their bond was immediate, and they knew each other was the one. They emailed sex positions they wanted to try. There were messages about when myself or her husband would be at work so they could meet, and even messages about my daughter's birthday party. 2 days before D-Day, he told her that he couldn't wait to experience life with her. They talked of bringing kids to baseball practice and working on school projects together with kids. After confronting him when I found the emails, he is remorseful and wants to be with me. He said their messages were just talk and it was all fantasy. He's crying and remorseful, going to therapy with me, and doing all the things the therapist says. I told him I would give him a chance, but how can I ever look at him the same way? My life has been turned upside down. He was my partner, my husband, my hero. I guess I am ranting, but I also just need advice and a damn hug. I feel like I owe it to the 14 years of good times to try to make this work. I know eventually the anger and sting will fade, but how can I stay with someone who did this to me? I keep coming back to a few things. He'd still be doing it if I didn't catch him. How is he suddenly over her? How am I suddenly the right one for him? And can I ever trust him again? Update number 1. It's been 31 days from D-Day. I'm really struggling tonight. I just want to divorce and be gone. I read all of their messages, over 100 emails. My husband told this woman he married the wrong person. He said I was a good person, but the wrong person. He said he wished he would have gotten with her sooner and married her instead. They made plans with our children. They talked of taking kids to baseball practice and school projects together. I caught him 2 weeks before D-Day after finding a condom. He cupped my face in his hands and told me that he would never cheat on me. That it was trash he had picked up off the ground at a property we own. Now he's remorseful and wants to work on us. I don't even want to try right now. How can he love me? How can he be over her after catching him? Update number 2. We are working on things, but right now I am having trouble thinking I'll ever feel the same way. The levels of betrayal are sickening. However, he keeps telling me that he might not feel the same way about me, but we have to try to rebuild that connection. I realize he obviously didn't have a connection with me since he cheated. But shouldn't he be kissing my ass right now since I let him come home and I agreed to work on it? Maybe I am naive and silly about how R is supposed to look. But I'd expect a bit more groveling and atonement along with more declarations of absolute love. I feel like I need to just cut my losses and file, but I just need to know if anyone else's wayward spouse did this. Update number 3. I know these moments come in waves. But in Marriage Counseling Tuesday, my wayward husband read me an apology, he wrote. Tears streamed down his face, and the words he spoke were so powerful to me. I said it was more powerful than our wedding vows, and that it was the most important thing he's ever said to me. He talked about the kind of wife I am, how I've always put him first, how any man would be so lucky to have me, how I didn't deserve any of this, that it was solely his fault. He discussed how weak and selfish he was, and how he should have come to me and communicated where he was. But instead, he hurt me so much. He said he's going to be the best man he could be and give our marriage all he could. He asked that I please give our marriage time and opportunity to work. There was more to it, but that was the overall summary. I don't know the end of the story yet, but I can say that it lifted mountains off of me to see true remorse and hear him read the apology aloud. I wish every betrayed spouse could receive those words from someone who is truly remorseful. Many skeptics will say that he's only sorry because he got caught, or they'll say I'm a doormat with no sense of self-worth. Truthfully, I've said all of those same things to myself since all of this happened, and I am sure those thoughts will occur again. But to that I say, what do I have to lose by trying? I may have to remind myself of that very thing every now and then, but I have absolutely nothing to lose. If we make it through this, we can be a testament to true forgiveness, repentance, and love. If we don't make it through this, I can say that I extended grace and opportunity during the darkest time of my life to someone who didn't deserve it. Update number 4. Hey, it's me again. The person who got that beautiful apology from wayward husband. Guess what? Spoiler alert, he and affair partner met up again for closure and lied about it. The affair partner's husband contacted me last night and said he thought they met up and finally got affair partner to confess. My wayward husband lied to my face repeatedly and said affair partner was the liar and that they didn't meet up. Turns out he sent the affair partner an email to meet him so they could have closure. Even after I caught him, he said she just saw him driving down the road and he stopped. I finally pried it out of him that he emailed her. He said they just met up and had a goodbye discussion. He didn't want to tell me because he knew it would set us back in our reconciliation. Not as far back as more lies and betrayals set us back. We had made some rules. No contacting affair partner, 100% honesty. He's proven time and time again that he can lie to my face with no hesitation even when I have evidence. The affair partner's husband is devastated that the affair partner didn't ignore the email or confess about it. Wayward husband cried and said sorry over and over for the hurt he's caused. How I deserve none of it. How he can easily lie to me. That any man would be lucky to have me. How much he loves me. How he regretted everything, etc. He could have communicated that he needed closure. I could have asked why, or what good or bad it would do. They could have even had a third party present if it was truly something he couldn't deal with. He deceived me, saw her, lied over and over. He's moving out today. I still don't know the end of the story, but how could I ever trust someone who lies as easily as they breathe? Update number 5. He moved out the next morning, and I filed for divorce last week. I deserve better. I will not ever be someone's second choice. Anyone who could watch me writhing in pain the last several weeks and contact their affair partner, meet up with them, and lie about it is just morally bankrupt. No amount of time or counseling can ever change my mind. We amicably agreed on division of assets and custody, but I am struggling with so much these last few days. For some reason, it feels as though the affair is so fresh. The inadequacy is crippling right now. How could my sweet, strong husband do this to me and our life? I am so angry that he took my life and my security. I miss being my normal happy self. Why her? Why not me? I'm letting him come over for dinner to see our child every night, and he takes her every morning to daycare. Part of me thinks that's the problem. He thinks that we will get back together again someday, and his sense of entitlement makes me sick. I just miss comfort, passion, security, and happiness. Now I get my child half the time because he was a weak, entitled jerk. Update number 6. D-Day was in August, and my divorce is final next week. I am really struggling with the holidays right now. Yesterday I packed moving boxes of my soon-to-be ex-husband's things and started packing up half of my daughter's things. I got very drunk and called the affair partner and left her the most horrible voicemail and texted her some terrible things too. I sent screenshots of the messages she sent to my husband. I told her to never forget what she is capable of and that she's so woefully ordinary. I've contacted her 3 times since this started. Once on Die, once when I found out they met up again, and last night. The first 2 were warranted, but last night wasn't necessarily. I was upset that she has no consequences. Her family is intact. I deleted her contact info from my phone last night. I feel awful and humiliated today because it isn't my personality to lash out. I'm just really hurting that my life as I knew it is over. I am going to stop drinking for a while because I need to heal in better ways. I am usually so strong, but the holidays are making it worse. I just wish cheaters could feel our pain for even a split second. Update number 7. Tomorrow is 2 years since my divorce was final. Immediately after my divorce, I started dating a mutual friend who had also been cheated on, which ended spectacularly badly. But I learned a lot and there are no hard feelings. Since my divorce, I have gotten a huge promotion at work, traveled solo to a foreign country, marked something off of my bucket list, sold my house, and bought a new one. I took the most painful thing in my life and used it as a license to live my life to the fullest. For anyone going through infidelity, please remember that the best revenge is a life well lived. My ex-husband continues to co-parent decently well, but lies to my face. I found out through the other betrayed spouse that my ex-husband and the mistress were dating in March. They have a contentious divorce that is taking quite a while, but he and I are still close. I don't care who my ex-husband dates, but we had an agreement that we would let the other party know if we were to introduce our daughter to someone. I was hoping that if he was going to be with the other woman, they would at least give it some time to see if they could have a real relationship and go on dates before introducing kids. However, they immediately began introducing our children to one another and essentially just created a whole brand new family without giving me a heads up. I had suspicions that he and his mistress were having a baby, and he lied to my face. I think that's the part of this that hurts so much still. My ex-husband and I went through infertility issues, having 3 miscarriages. But now, the 2 of them have replaced their families to build this new one with seemingly no consequences. They just got to live out all the bullcrap they wrote in their messages. It isn't even that I want them to fail. I just have that nagging voice saying that's not fair when I think about how they're just living life. I have had to cut off some friends who have hung out with my ex-husband and the mistress. I'm very black and white about it. Accepting them as a couple is a direct betrayal to me. I view it as supporting 2 people who took my daughter away from me half of the time. It sounds harsh, but it's just the way I have to heal. I never had an argument or exchanged crosswords. I just blocked and ignored it. They know why I did it, and it's fine with me. My daughter loves the other woman and her children. I want her to feel included, loved, and cared for when I am not with her, but it sucks that it is with the other woman. My daughter is excited to be a big sister, so I take that angry part of me and push it down. I encouraged her that she's going to be the best big sister ever. It isn't easy, but it's the right thing to do. Someday she will know the truth, and I hope she's able to look back and see all that I shouldered to ensure she had a loving childhood. Co-parenting is going as well as it can. I don't have to see him or the other woman often, and we have 50-50 custody. Infidelity is odd like that. Some days you don't even think about it, and some days the slightest thing reminds you of a message you saw on your spouse's phone or a phrase they said to each other, and then you just think, how the hell did I get here? I do that a lot. I'm dating a really great guy, but he's 7 years younger than I am. I think there are long-term incompatibilities, but it's really nice to be cared for and treated well. I've been very clear that being married again isn't part of what I see for myself, and ultimately I think that might be a deal breaker for him. He's also got a little bit of growing up to do, but I suppose that's all of us. He's encouraging and supportive, and has been very understanding about dating someone who has been through a massive betrayal. Lastly, I want to encourage a few things. The first is that no matter what happens to you, what job you have, who loves or doesn't love you, you are worthy of love and whole on your own. You deserve so much more than someone betraying you. I acted very swiftly in my divorce and left 6 weeks after D-Day. Not everyone has that option, but please know your worth. I'd also like to encourage some honest communication. My boyfriend and I have check-ins and discuss times we might have not felt love, or what we need more or less of. It's elementary, but I often wonder where my marriage would be had my ex-husband and I both had the courage to just be honest with one another. And lastly, I guess I need to be grateful for this entire experience. It hurt so badly, but it's made me softer and more empathetic. I hope that if you're going through it, or on the other side, you can help someone else and be a good listening post for them. Update number 8. I am struggling lately with balancing the fact that my ex-husband had a baby with his mistress, and his family has decided to accept them as a couple. Throughout the entire process, from the cheating to the divorce, I have taken the high road and moved on silently and gracefully. But lately, the high road has been bringing me down a bit. I was very close with my mother-in-law, and we did things together all the time. She was so hurt and betrayed by the actions of her son, and because she was so close with my daughter, I let her visit and stay overnight with my ex-mother-in-law because she and my ex-husband weren't having any contact. So basically, I gave up some of my days with my child so that she and my mother-in-law can still see each other. The mistress is still legally married, but going through a divorce, and now that the new baby is around, everyone seems to have forgotten how we all got here. They have basically just formed a new family unit, and I am often in disbelief. The mistress is picking my daughter up from school, making plans with my ex-mother-in-law to go do things with my daughter, and it really hurts. I would prefer to do drop-offs and pick-ups with my ex-husband only. But because of his new job, he informed me that I would have to meet with the mistress now to drop my daughter off. He basically told me to get over it. If I wanted to meet him to get my daughter, it would have to be very, very early in the morning, and would likely have a negative impact on my daughter, so I understand that. Things in my life are going really well. I have a great job, I just bought a beautiful new home, I have great friends, an active social life, and overall, I am a happy person. But even as I write this, tears are streaming down my face because I feel like there was no justice. When I began dating someone, I waited 6 months to introduce him to my daughter. We do things sometimes with the three of us, but it is very clear that he is someone I am dating, and I am not trying to put him into a stepfather role. My ex-husband immediately formed a new family with this woman, and it just blows my mind how I am just supposed to take it. My daughter is getting to the age where she's asking questions. I again take the high road and tell her that we don't live in the same house anymore, but she's got 2 houses of people who love her and care for her. My daughter is sharing a bed with one of her future step-siblings at my ex's house, and she isn't sleeping well. I tried to address it with him, but he refused to buy her a separate bed and said it's just not possible. He's wealthy, so it isn't a money issue. My daughter also told me that she prefers to be with me and that her dad never does anything one-on-one with her, which does not surprise me at all. I never badmouth him or the mistress. I have even encouraged her to bond with her new baby brother. I do all of these things because I love my daughter so much, but at what point do I need to reevaluate? I miss my mother-in-law, but I know she isn't mine anymore. I miss having 100% of the time with my daughter, but I know I can't have it. And I miss people having integrity and a backbone, standing up against people who cheat. I'm not even sure what I'm asking for. I just want to know if it gets better and if anyone can recommend an easier way for me to balance it all. That's where today's story ends. I think she tried her hardest to make it work between them, even taking a higher end to not badmouth about her husband to her daughter. The path of recovering from infidelity is hard and very long, but it is a path worth taking to gain self-confidence and self-worth. I hope you learned something from this story. What do you think about this story? Your advice is greatly appreciated. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do, and help me reach the 1,000 subscriber milestone.